This is the largest size for a flat lithophane. And again, they can't get any bigger just because the warping and the cracking just was prohibitive when we're in the kiln. And Mr. Blair liked to put a red light behind there because we have the eruption of Mount Vesuvius from a painting, but it doesn't really show the image so very much, but you can get that feeling that there is a three-dimensional quality, and you can see the texture that's on the surface of the lithophane. And this case has a lot of different luminary, lantern kinds of ways that lithophanes were used, with very popular different ways. But it's very interesting, this piece that's illuminated back here and is flat over here. And these pieces are heat deflectors, because in the 18th century, the basis for a lot of the cosmetics and makeup was beeswax. And if you got too close to the heat, your beauty would melt. So these heat deflectors were used to keep the heat away from your face and to preserve your beauty.
What year was this?
This would have been in the 1800s. I don't know exactly what year. We don't have dates on.
So there was a candle or
the fire, or a wood burning stove, perhaps, something like that.
So keep your beeswax.
Yeah, that's very good. A very good idea. I talked to a lady once who came through here, and she kind of giggled when I was talking about these, and she said she was a clown, and that their makeup was still with the beeswax base, and they did have to be careful about getting close to heat and fires. You can see that alpine image was very popular. All the different images are in the lampshade, but there are many individual lithophanes that have part of that image. Here, the hunter pointing the gun at the bird in the tree. Now, another way to use lithophanes would be as a little night light. And some of these were called fairy lamps. So we have fairy lamps that are up here in this area. And now this is digital. You don't want to do much with this.
So this is the new digital?
This is a digital process.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right, so we have a digital process here of the gentleman in the area who likes to fiddle around with different things, and so he gave these to the museum. This is an MRI of the head, and so taken from the top down, and this isn't just an image he got from the currency, and this is an image of a bound foot, an x-ray of a bound foot. So, and right here we have another, this is a teapot, and it's warmer down here. Now the teapot is a little deceptive because these teapots actually are very cylindrical, and they go down deeper into the carriage than what we just see at the top. So there's really more tea there, but the nice little candle would be sitting at the bottom to keep your tea warm while you're doing that. But it's hard to find sets that are still intact with both the teapot and the warmer. The teapots lose their lids, their spouts and handles get broken off. So we have a lot more teapot bases and warmers than we do teapots. In this area, we have some cases that are just full of wonderful genre kinds of things that are going on. Kids and their animals and harvests. And what you're focusing on right now is a 21st century work of art by a lady named Hannah Blackwell. And Hannah, we had an exhibition of her show here about 6 years ago, and Hannah at age 40 graduated from the Kansas Art Institute and got a stipend to go to Austria to a workshop on ceramics, and she discovered Lithophanes. And she's created the image that you see there, and the image on the other side. And Hannah does her process the same way that I described to you earlier with the beeswax and the plaster mold and putting the figures into the kiln. Hannah only creates 20 lithophanes of any one particular image.
Do you have a favorite or any favorites in the collection?
Oh, there are favorites that have little kids in them. There are favorites that have wonderful scenes in them. There are favorites that I get astonished at how something that's only an eighth of an inch thick can show such depth. I want to point out with this lantern, it's our alpine scene again, or some of our alpine scene, but these vessels that are there to hold the oil are just beautiful works of art themselves. And there's this one over here, and then this one over here. This is a piano lamp, and there's the lithophane, there's the wonderful marble and brass that's all here, and there's a lever here that would raise and lower this to please the musician. But when it's lit, you see that this is a sepia color. But if I turn the light off, it's white again. So they've put the color or the tint on the inside to give you that special feeling when it's lit and when it's in use by the musician. I like to use this one just to reinforce the skill of that artist carving in the beeswax. To create the white horse, he has to go deep into the beeswax, so a lot of light comes through, but he has to leave beeswax to show the muscles of the horse. But when he does the black horse, to show the muscles, he has to go deep into the beeswax so we see white highlights of his muscles. And he has to leave it thick for the horse. So it's two different operations that he has to do for the black horse and the white horse.
So nowadays you can do this with photography.
You can do it with all kinds of wonderful, with computer and wonderful things that are being invented all of the time. But it's still the beauty of this art form in the 19th century is astounding and wonderful.
It was the television of their time.
Well, yes, the entertainment of their time. We have a lot of fun with that one and trying to explain to kids today exactly what candling an egg is all about.
So explain candling an egg.
Well, it's the egg taken right from under the hen is held to the light to see whether or not there's an embryo inside of the egg. And if it does, it's going to go back under the hen, and if not, somebody's going to have a nice breakfast.
Same with the rabbits, it was breakfast.
And down here, we have fun with the little boys when they come in, and we explain that this is a little girl and her brother. And then we get all the things about a little boy wearing a dress and all that other kinds of fun things with young boys today.